Imaging. So why would we want thermal imaging inside of a ghost hunt?
To see cold spots.
Right, exactly. It's exactly what we're looking for. So cold spots. You guys should be able to see me in there, the red, orange, and yellow guy.
Yes.
We have a bachelorette party here, so this is going to work. I am the hottest thing inside the video right now.
Yes, you
yes,
are.
see, look at that. Sorry, guys. But with that, we're looking for blue and black. That's what we're looking for inside this camera. It's either going to take shape or start moving on its own. I normally look for 15-degree temperature differences, but the other piece that is cool about this video is that there's a blue dot bouncing around the screen. That blue dot is going to actually help you, when you're viewing your video, find the coldest spot in the frame at that particular moment. So that way, you know where your eye is supposed to be going. Again, I look for normally about 15 plus degrees in temperature difference. Now, this is a FLIR camera. This is what firemen use to actually help save people. This is the real deal. It's not a phone app. So with that said, Matthew, I think I'm going to go with you on this one. You had like the first question. I'm going to throw it at you. So he's like, man, I don't want to see anything. So you're going to hold this horizontal just like this, treat it just like a cell phone. The camera's on the left-hand side, so you don't want to put your hand behind the camera, otherwise the whole thing turns red. So, again, always keep it horizontal.
I'll turn off the phone or does she keep it on?
What's that?
Am I allowed?
Should he keep it on?
Oh, yeah, we're going to keep it on all night.
Keep it on. Okay.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
yeah. Yeah, we're going to do a few starts and stops only because as great as the hardware is, the software sucks. If we record for too long, we lose footage, and we don't want to do that.
Right.
Let's get into the next crazy camera.
Oh my God, Sydney. You're a ghost.
Let me see.
Most people tell me that my heart is cold. That's usually the joke that comes with that guy.
Let me see the other camera.
Look at
Well, if your hands are cold, your heart's warm. Yep. Listen, you with medical people right here.
What is Spain gonna have?
Also nerves.
Oh, 4.5.
Ah, yes!
Next camera. So this guy, I know it's a little tiny GoPro and it's a pretty empty blank screen, but again, I point this out on purpose. So this guy, we're going to turn on some lights. So now we're working with infrared lighting. So these are lights that we cannot see with our own eyes. The hope here is that we're going to be able to find something we wouldn't normally be able to see with our own eyes.
He loves it.
The cool thing is, well, first off, I lit up 2 torches. So we got the 20 up here and then 2 antennas in front of the camera. The other piece of this is this is a 2-person job. So with this one, we're going to be using lasers as well to detect any motion that's going to actually come up out of this guy. So let me get this quickly set up. I hit the wrong button.
Look at this. This is the license. No, it's not.
I'm just keeping one.
I'm starting to agree with that.
But you're not recording until like you actually see something. So don't. No. Not yet. Just leave it as is. So okay. You're going to get more info as we go to play. You're not worried, right?
This is the neuralizer for Men in Black. None of you are going to remember anything by the time we're done. Lasers. So the whole point of the lasers is that we can't see the laser until it's actually landing on something solid.
Okay.
Or until something interrupts the laser. The hope here is because the camera I just handed Cassie, these things light up like a Christmas tree. So again, we're going to be recording through these lasers through a good portion of the night. Obviously lasers are a big deal. So with this one, we're going to be using 2 different styles. So the red squares, basically if we get something here, I'm going to take the still from the camera, put it in 3D software and give you a full 3D view of what we caught along with measurements. So I've had this red one for about a year now, and the software hasn't been able to take any of my blurry pictures just yet. Hopefully tonight is our night. So, Alicia, with yours, you're going to get both of these. When you're using these, the laser touches your toe and always keep it on the ground. There is a laser law in Charleston, and Nick will get arrested if you blind somebody. No pressure at all.
Listen, I'm
She's
a
the most
photographer.
responsible one.
She really is. I'm a photographer and you just gave me lasers. I don't
Perfect.
What's this one?
I don't know how to turn.
No.
There's a red
But
one
you
and a
won't
green
see
one.
it.
The red
That one's
squares and the green. So,
On the ground, woman.
She's
it
good.
was on the ground!
It was on your
Wow.
boobs.
Perfect. So, spirit boxes. We're going to be using several different styles of spirit boxes tonight. Spirit boxes are a way for us to communicate with the dead. So, if you're unfamiliar with these from your TV shows, basically this is the box that gives you white noise. And with that white noise, normally comes some kind of voice that your host from TV is going to convince you of the same thing. Those disembodied voices are a rarity. These are slowed down on purpose. This one you might want to pay attention to, especially if you're going to be helping out with somebody who has one of these, because I do use 2 of these. Now, with this set being slowed down, the radio chatter is going to come through. Like the song lyrics, the DJs, the commercials, those kind of things. That's what we're listening for. In the event we can make out any of those things, the song lyrics, the DJs, or the commercials, it's a 50-50 shot that I can tie it to the location of where we are, a person in history we're discussing, or even something going on with one of you. It happens all the time. So with this one, I think, Hannah, I'm going to go with you on this one. Ah, look at that. So this guy, she's going to have an earbud in. She's going to be the only one to hear it in real time. I'll be writing down anything she hears in real time, plus it's recording. I'm going to give you back the recording tomorrow morning after I spot check it and give you about 15 to 25 more markers. So again, your earwax is gross, Hannah. I'm sorry, but I don't want these earbuds back, so you get to keep those. Undo the twist tie, and then the volume button is right here. It's a wheel, so I'm just making sure it's turned all the way down, and that way you actually get to share it with another person when we're in between spaces.
Oh my.
You want to share with them?
I didn't think we were going to be.
The second one will not record. So, who's used the spirit box between the two of you? You have. So,
You had better hearing.
it's okay, I got something special.
Take it.
This one's not going to record. So I'm going to be relying on you in real time to be able to write down whatever you're capturing. So again, I saved the non-recording one for somebody with experience. So again, you know what you're listening for. It's going to be the song lyrics and DJs. In the event, because of your experience, if you want to speed it up, I'll show you how to do that. So again, earwax is nasty. You get to sleep that. Volume, have you ever used an S-Box before? This style? Okay, so your volume is a wheel at the top. So I'm just going to turn it all the way down. So kind of get used to that guy.
Nah.
I called you out. You wrote it, didn't you?
Next spirit box.
What you got for the genius? It's really exciting.
Oh, I did not hear that one.
She's got a high IQ. That's why.
She's got a what?
High
She's
IQ.
got a really high IQ. She's a genius.
Her aunt's super excited for her.
The next spirit box. This guy we don't actually have to listen to. So what does this guy do? It's going to generate a word from time to time in the center of the screen. On your TV shows, this would be considered an obelisk. An obelisk on TV only has about 2,000 terms in it. This has over 9,100 terms in it. This is a phone app. 80% of this is going to be garbage. I'm just going to put it out there right now. So the other 20% is going to be relevant to our space, the person, one of us. Same principle as all of the other spirit boxes. So it says enjoying this app. I'm going to hit no thanks. Now, the cool thing about this app is it's going to save all of the terms and phrases into a list with timestamps. I use this list first, so that way when something does pop up relevant in real time, where I need to listen to your recordings, where to watch your videos, so forth and so on. So
You got what? What'd you get?
now, I am going to clear out last tour's history. They had 108 terms show up. So that's actually quite a bit for a 2-hour time span. So, Steve, I think I'm going to... Actually, let's go with... I'm getting these two mixed up. Which one's Nolan?
This is Nolan.
Nolan? I think I'm going to go with you on this guy. So that one is nice and easy. I'll come to you when I want to see the list. Watch the vehicles. This is why I have you guys normally go straight to the leaf set.
So basically, it's like a dictionary, okay? And what's going to happen is words are going to come up. A lot of them won't mean anything, but you might get something.
It said, "What's up?"
The next spirit box is a
That's
brand new
all.
device that's only been on the market for less than 2 months.
Oh.
In a nutshell, this is a digital Ouija board. So it's going to have all of the letters on there,
No.
cursors on
No.
there.
Ooh, man,
Any kind of EMF spikes that are going to pop up out of this guy, it will stop on a letter and then save those letters to the bottom. So hopefully what we're looking for out of this guy are anagrams, fully spelled out words, initials, anything of the like. So we've been using this on the tour for about a week now, week and a half, and we haven't really caught a whole lot. So the hope here, we actually just got our first one, which was an N. Very interesting that my name is Nick.
What is that?
So
No, I saw something happen. I was
yeah,
just
so
asking.
it is going off because we have some EMF around us. So it is basically signaling this based off of the EMF signals.
What's
Yeah.
EMF?
She was hearing
Electromagnetic
something
fields.
saying-
So basically electricity in the air.
Nah, bro. We need to go with Cloxy.
Sydney,
So you got the word.
your breath is so hot.
The next spirit
Bro.
box. Love
Matthew,
this
I got
guy.
the word active.
So this guy, in a nutshell, is going to sweep through both FM and AM radio stations at the same time. And it's going to try to eliminate the white
Also
noise
smells
that's
like
coming
vinegar.
out of the ones that
Yeah, it does
Monica
smell.
and Hannah are
What
listening
smell?
to.
Okay.
So hopefully, it's only going to be able to give us words. So with a 2-hour time span, we usually get about 10 to 12 words out of this guy total. It's about 75% accurate to our space based on the person, the location, or one of us. So this is called an SB11. I absolutely love this guy. So Steve, I think I'm going to go with you on this one because I like to put a noisy one within the group, so that way you guys actually have a lot to go with. This is an older style spirit box. This one does not record either. And it has an attached ball speaker on it because it is an older style. So, with that said, Marissa, was it? Am I getting names right? Oh, look at me. So, you're going to get this one because it's difficult. They say you have an IIQ. Let's see how well you do. This one's not easy because
You're welcome, I called you out.
the only thing you need to worry about is your volume. It's on the side of the ball speaker. When obviously it's plugged into the group, you roll it down and then hold it there. So once you roll it, you hold it. And then if you want to get some volume, you roll it up and hold it. Obviously, it just takes a few seconds to get some volume out of it. So kind of get a feel for where that volume button is. Again, that one's not easy either.
This is Venus. Actor Venus?
All right, so you guys have seen these on TV, so these are pretty basic things,
Oh,
right?
I know
so
what that
these are
is.
electromagnetic field meters.
I actually like
So,
that.
in a nutshell, like this is, we actually use these to help debunk a lot of things. So any kind of electrical wiring, buildings, cell phone too close, that kind of thing. So again, because this is such an easy job and you don't have to do anything, you're going to have 2 jobs. So Sydney, right? Look at me getting the names. I'm good. So Sydney, do you know what this guy is?
The camera?
Yeah, there you go. I normally don't hand this to anybody under the age of 21 because they don't know what the hell it is. So, it's a digital camera. You're going to be taking hundreds and hundreds of pictures, and you're going to be letting me know whatever colors you see out of this guy. So this guy actually has a wrist strap, so go ahead and put your hand through there, and I will show you how to use that at our next stop, but you're going to get both of these devices. You are double-fisted. Look at you guys.
And this will just go off by itself, right? I don't
Yep.
need to do it. Okay.
Oh yeah, you don't need to push any buttons or do anything. Last but not least.
Because I actually
Oh,
like
she's the one name I forgot.
And yours Audrey. Is anybody named Audrey?
It's cool. I've texted her like 10 times and I still don't know her name.
No.
She keeps asking my name too.
You guys just made something.
Specific,
Nope.
no?
It's
my
my
best
best
friend.
Got it.
She's my
word.
So, this
Yeah.
device is a multi-function device. We call this a millimeter. So, in a nutshell, it has the same device that Sydney has in his. So, that's your big numbers. Only this one's way more accurate and it goes way higher than Sydney's. So, 2.5 and higher is what I want to know off the big numbers. Where's the thermal? So, in the event that Matthew finds something on his camera, you and I can debunk it or prove it by using the bottom ambient temperature being measured by the yellow probe right here. The last thing that this has, which is what everybody's super interested in, is the REM pod or motion sensor. In the event something gets close to that antenna, it's going to go off. I'm not touching it right now. I'm touching it now. There's obviously different tones and colors that go along with that, so you and I will talk more about that at the first stop we're going to use it.
You know
But
what?
for now, just kind of get used to how those red numbers move around. Remember, 2.5 and higher. All right, everybody's geared up, right?
You like this?
All right, Nolan's in charge. You guys have fun. Let me know what happens. No, I'm kidding. See, I caught you off guard, didn't I?
No, it's a joke.
I want to take it.
Thank you for making the bag much, much lighter. That's very appreciated.
Raw.
Yeah, you guys are holding about 30 pounds of equipment right now.
This thing's
So it's going to make my job a whole lot easier.
This is like Lincoln
There's
texting
probably
me.
about 5 grand
Just
tied up in
said
everything.
random words.
And that's including maintenance. So.
Except Audrey.
All right, so let's talk about why we started here. Are you getting the gist of that, Alicia?
Yeah, sorry.
It's okay.
I thought it was up
No,
here.
it's a button on the side.
Cindy, eventually, can I try out the electric? I
Big
like
John's
this one.
Tavern. Let's get started with why we're here. You guys are going to make me talk all night. You guys are going to definitely keep me on my toes. Sure.
Sorry.
Love it, love it, love it.
How will mine be?
Yours is, I'm manually. I'm doing it all manually because there's no SD card in there. The reason why I'm doing it this way and the reason why Hannah's has the recording is because if I were to give you guys 4 hours of muffled white noise, the radio stations, somebody's going to hunt me down and kill me trying to go through 4 hours of white noise. That's why I only do one with white noise. So that's usually enough. And again, usually if I have somebody experienced, they actually get one without the SD card because you know what you're listening for. So if Hannah, because she's never done this before, she misses something, it's fine. We have it on recording, I can spot check it.
So do I just need to call it out when I say it?
I would normally, you're going to see with this amount of people, I'm going to be bouncing around with every single person. So again, you're going to be either hanging on to them mentally. Some people like to whip out their phones and just like create a little quick document or note in their phone to help keep track of things. And then I'll write down whatever I feel is necessary for the location.
Okay, so you got Audrey.
So back to Big John's. This place is haunted, of course. This place wasn't always Big John's, but you can see it says established in 1940 or 1955 on there. But this place was named after a football player who played for the 1947 New York Giants. Now, I'm not a football person or a sports person, as I obviously already mentioned. So sorry, Monica, that was just the way I went down. But whenever I'm talking about a location or one of our spaces, I will always slow down on specific keywords. The keywords here are going to be 47 New York Giants and anything relative to a bar. And obviously the name John. And that's because we're using every single spirit box I own right now. So those are the key words. But anyway, here's why the place is haunted. John used to sit in the back of the bar, and he would tell the bartender if the cadets coming over from the Citadel, if they were old enough to drink or not. One night, 2 guys came in. They weren't old enough to drink. So Big John had the bartender throw them out.
I'm not trying to balance it. I can carry it. I don't want to balance
They
it.
left pretty angry, and Big John, the 2 cadets came back the next night trying to steal the cash register from the front of the bar. John saw what was going on. He slammed down his beer, and he went over and started beating the hell out of these guys, just pounding them right into the floor. A couple of gunshots went off. John got hit in the neck, but it just grazed him, and it went into the wall behind him. John gets up after being the only one that's been shot and goes back to the bar and tells the bartender to get him another beer, get the 2 guys on the floor, and ambulance. I know, history's boring. I see the yawn already. So
No, that wasn't.
I'm going to call him out just so you know. But anyway, again, with this particular story, normally if I tell you a building is haunted, you normally think of some tragic death that occurred here. What's haunting the place is the bullet hole. It's allegedly still here. Even if it isn't, and the new renovation of Big John's filled it in, they sealed Big John's blood inside the wall. People that sit in the front of this bar tend to get a little queasy, nauseous, or headache. This is a heated warning because fingers crossed we're going to be dealing with paranormal activity tonight, but I don't know how it's going to affect any of you. If anybody feels any of those symptoms, we're going to blame the heat and humidity first, always. Not everything is going to be paranormal. However, we're still going to move the whole group and get that person to safety. Is that fair? All right. So I always throw that out there on purpose. Let's talk about something other than our own health because we got short people here tonight. Same building, real quick. You guys, if you've taken other history tours, you already know that we had a big earthquake here in 1886. Right, so that's a big anomaly for us because we're supposed to have hurricanes, not earthquakes. Now, the reason I tell you about this building is because this is allegedly where the first death occurred from that earthquake. The white mantle you see in the middle of the building broke off in the front of the building, hit somebody in the back of the head, and killed them. And they say you could see his ghost in the middle of East Bay Street in the middle of the night. I said apparently and allegedly a lot because I don't have any proof. It's just a great segue so nobody's thinking about getting sick on the tour. So again, it's supposed to be a joke, yada yada. Yeah, we're gonna have fun here, guys. I promise. So, all right, is everybody ready to go ghost hunting? It's going to be up to you guys.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. All right, we're going to actually head this way.
Dude, it's half my favorite. No, in the street. Not in the street.
No, sidewalk.
You got your thing?
Listen, we're going to go in places soon. Just relax.
Sydney.
Take another shower when you get back. Man, your school, Nolan, it's got all kinds of words coming up.
I know this that one.
What if it said fart?
Sydney's making an argument for Roblox.
Because
Starts off the right way. Perfect. And I just spliced them all together anyway, so we're going to be doing a few starts and stops like that. All right.
My fault.
You're good. You're good. I'm just glad I caught it. So we had an upside down video the whole time.
That'd be funny.
So,
She heard 200,000 miles in medicine.
medicine. Back to red. Because neither one of those terms are relevant.
I was just saying.
So, fire truck, blood, and heart are specifically red. I would take that as an acceptable answer. What color is the big red barn? Blood. I'm good with that. However, most of the evening, I'm going to require that there's at least 2 things happening before we're going to even come close to labeling it as paranormal. For example, we did have a 4.5 come up on the millimeter so far. That is abnormal for this space. So again, we're not supposed to really have anything even close to the red barn because it's too far away. So kind of keep that in mind as we're kind of going through this. Another example, with the word list, just to kind of give you guys a clue of like how we're going to be doing this. With the word list, let's say the word art shows up on there. That doesn't mean anything over here when we're trying to talk about football players and ponies, does it? But then Hannah hears the number 40 come up on her spirit box, and we have art. Art Faircloth was number 40 on Big John's team. Do you guys see where we're going to be putting clues together amongst all of your devices versus just a normal ghost tour? Perfect. So, cameras. So Matthew, I think we already got the gist of yours, but there are 3 cameras being used tonight, so we're going to be in spaces like this where there's people walking by and cars parked. We do not film people's cars, and we do not film people walking by. Again, we don't want to look like a bunch of bloggers out here. So, with yours, specifically, Matthew, you're going to try to do 2 things. There's a lot of people in our group tonight. You're going to try to keep one of us in view at all times. That's going to give us the array of color because our skin is going to be the warmest thing out here. It's much easier to spot cold spots when we have the hot spot in there as well. The other thing you're going to try to do is keep the sky out of view. Some places that's going to be impossible, but the reason for that is because the blue dots will automatically default to the sky if it's in view because there's no surface. So again, nice slow movements, the slower the better. So you two, with the lasers and the crazy camera, and you're not recording anymore, so something was
I didn't touch
It's
anything.
okay. You're perfectly fine. I got you. They should point one of your lasers down for me. There you go. Perfect. Make sure it's touching your toe. There you
Am I
go.
supposed to point the camera at?
So we don't. Let me explain.
Mom, you hear
There
anything?
you go. So let me
It's just
explain.
like
So
noise,
basically,
I'm
in a
not
nutshell,
sure.
keep it down.
You want to try
You don't want to be
this
pointing
No,
down. 'Cause we already know
I'm not trying to hear anybody talk to me.
Okay.
So you're literally going to take like maybe
Gas.
2 to 3 steps away. Watch your laser.
Gas.
So you're always, because we're looking for things to cut.
Oh, like the horse's
Not
butt.
necessarily down at
Releases gas.
This is my word though.
Okay.
If you're going to use them side by side, if you're going to use them together,
Spin
make sure
is
they're side by
on
side
the
and don't
heat
cross the
meter.
streams. Again, it's
His
not-
breath
we're
is
still
stinking.
relevant to cross
Bruh.
the streams in this kind of scenario because you're just creating one giant laser. There's no point. So you're going to use the red one as well, which remember that one has a toggle switch. So once it's
So
on,
then turn this one off, turn that one on.
you can do them together. Is what I'm saying. Watch.
Wait. Okay. Sorry.
Yeah, you got to watch the lasers. The horses don't like them either.
I thought it was the other way.
Are we going in the barn?
No.
Oh, okay.
So you can use them together. So just make sure they're side by side. Like right now, you're crossing the stream. So all you're doing.
I wish I had
is
like
creating
one of those like
giant laser. There you
camera
go. Now we
holders
have
so
a
I could
bigger
like hold
span.
it. You know?
Yeah.
GoPro.
But just keep it on the ground.
On the
Stuff
ground,
is good.
unless I obviously go
Country
direct to
music?
Otherwise, there's some spaces where I say, let's get some walls and let's see what we can do.
Okay. Alright.
All right. So the only other thing I need to work with is Denise's device, and that is going to be at the next location. So, with yours, again, yours works like every other spirit box. Your mute button is on the right-hand side of it. So if the blinking lights are at the top, if you feel along the right-hand side, there's only one button. So once we get to the next location and I give you the history, we'll say unmute both spirit boxes that are open air, so that way you guys can start listening in.
Gotcha.
All right, let's go get away from football players and ponies. Let's go learn something.
Yes.
I'm afraid no ghosts.
You can shoot. You can take 5 pictures. You can take 500 pictures.
Oh no. We're gonna need a picture with all this equipment. How do I take a picture? Look.
But now you know how to go through all the work.
I guess we're leaving that there.
Man. I cannot believe that.
Mom, what'd you say? What?
Well, hold on. That thing is recording, isn't it?
I don't think you
So,
Huh?
I tell you later.
I just told her right now.
I just didn't know like what side of this.
Oh. That's out of pocket.
Isn't that awesome?
That's foul.
All right.
That's pretty funny though.
Ghost!
Let her show up yet.
I have an
What word is that? Logic.
NSCFINUT.
And up. So when I say let's reset it and clear it, you're going to turn it counterclockwise so it clicks, and then just turn it back on forward.
You got
And
the
then it kind of starts out fresh.
I got the great thing.
All right. Welcome, everybody, to your first space. I know, it took us this long just to
Oh,
get
this
here,
is
right?
the first space.
Yeah. This is a parking lot. Beautiful. Congratulations, you made it. This place used to be the Eliza and Charles Pinckney Mansion. Their mansion actually sat in the front of this space facing East Bay Street. Eliza's garden was lined up with Five Church Restaurant, came all the way across, and we are standing in the servant and slave quarters for the home. So, first off, spirit boxes. I am not going to be giving you questions like what color is George Washington's white horse, like what we did over there with the big red barn. You will be getting the answers from your spirit boxes, and I will withhold information on purpose, so that way everybody here has a genuine experience. So, who the heck were Charles and Eliza Pinckney? They had a son named Charles, they had a nephew named Charles. That's 3 Charleses. Do you guys see why we look for the secondary clue now? Because we need to know which Chuck we're chatting with. The son and the nephew were signers of the Constitution for South Carolina. It's a pretty big deal for all of you that live here in South Carolina, but I hate politics and we're going to move on. By the way, that's the only entrance and exit to the space, so cars may be coming in or out. But anyway, we're going to talk about Eliza. She married Charles at a young age according to today's standards, not the colonial times that she came from. So if you're going to ask her how old she was when she got married, which you might, who knows, I know you don't have a spirit box, but you might, you're not going to hear numbers like 12 and 14. You're going to hear numbers according to today's standards. And the reason I bring this up is because her husband, Charles, was over double her age when they married. So kind of a creepy age gap back then, definitely a creepy age gap now. So kind of keep that in mind. But anyway, she married Charles because her father was over in England. He thought he was dying. He's trying to bring all of his kids home so he can see them. It's 1744. Eliza didn't think he was dying, so she got married instead. And you don't get married in 1744 for a green card. She actually loves Charles, who was over double her age. So don't poke the bear and try to find an affair in there. There's not one. A lot of people like to ask. But at any rate, so instead, Dad got better. She was correct. He starts sending her gifts from England to this space, right where we're standing. One of those gifts happened to be the plant seeds of indigo. Indigo is a plant that makes our blue jeans blue. That's what we use it for today. It makes blue dye. So again, she didn't know what to do with this indigo when she got it. She had to learn from her slaves how to keep it cultivated. It's not always hot here. So once she figured it out, she moves it to a big plantation, makes it a huge cash crop, calls her father and says, rice plantation's going downhill. We're gonna make a killing with the indigo. And now we have an international businesswoman during colonial times. Like, this is a huge deal. So that's her business. That's the boring stuff. I actually expected a few yawns out of that one. Let's get into the weird stuff, because that's why you guys are all here. So we're going to go right down the line. I'm going to kind of assign questions to every spirit box. If you find another question that you might want to go after instead, by all means, go after it. But I'm just giving you questions to things that we normally hear the answers to. So let's kind of go around the horn. No spirit box, no spirit box. You're going to just pick up on whatever we have. As far as Monica, your spirit box, I want you to go after the children. So with yours, I told you there's at least one child. His name was Charles. There are more. Ask how many and what their names were. Nothing else. The reason why is because there's a tragedy among those kids. If she pokes the bear, all activity will stop. So again, no pressure, but kind of stick to the regime if you can. Let's see, who's got the next spirit box? Those are lasers. Your spirit box, I want you to focus on what happened to the mansion, and then when did that happen. Obviously, we're looking for a date in a form of numbers, words, however it wants to come up. But start with what actually happened to the mansion. With yours, stick with Eliza's death. That's kind of anything that happened around her death. How old she was, what she died from, where she's buried, what president was a pallbearer at her funeral. So again, I gave you like 4 major questions that we commonly get the answers to. Let's see here. Getting the voice mixed up. Nolan. So, Nolan. So Nolan, I want you to, there's 2 different wives named Eliza. Well, actually, we can go after, with yours too, what happened to the mansion, and then when did that happen? And hopefully, you get the answer of when, like, find out what actually happened to it. With yours, what do I want to go after with yours? Eliza was the second wife named Eliza from Charles back to back. Kind of a creepy move, smart or stupid, depending on how you look at it. Same year, by the way. First wife Eliza dies in January of 1744. He marries the one I just talked about 5 months later. Ironically, both Elizas have a maiden name that starts with the letter L. So let's stick with which Eliza are we dealing with by the maiden name, and maybe the ages at time of marriage. Like, those are things that will pop up out of yours. It only gives us normally 1-2 syllable type answers because of the way it's designed. So, I do have to work with Denise to show her more about her device. So what we're going to do is, again, we're going to be spreading out in this space. We don't go in between vehicles. And of course, we're not filming or taking pictures of vehicles. Nice slow movements out of yours. Lasers are safe here, Alicia, just so you know. So again, with yours, this is, you're not always going to be in the game as far as like when you're allowed to use lasers. So definitely get those spirit boxes cranked up. Steve, go ahead and make sure you unmute yours when we're walking around. And I'll be walking around, like bouncing around all of you to kind of take notes of everything that's going on with your device. So let's spread out. I'm going to work with Denise for a few, and I'll be with everybody here in just a few other minutes. What did you hear?
Renter's insurance.
Hey, Nolan.
Renter's insurance was not a thing in 1744. Sorry, it doesn't work that way.
I did. I thought it was funny.
Huh? Yeah, you can stay over here.
Beans, there's a ghost right next to you, bud.
Where?
So on the bottom. Mahoney.
Turn it around slowly. Only, when I say slowly, is because it's going to go off of your emotions and it's super. So, everything.
Right?
thing is useless.
No, it's not.
See if you see anything.
Not yet. You should follow Sydney. If Sydney spikes something right there, although it could be.
What is it?
Pinky. What is it? Pinky.
Let's file Saint. Ghost hunting with Sainty. Following you around, bud.
Try different areas.
Hold up.
What up?
No, never mind. Oh, let's see. Ready? Farted.
I keep getting something over there.
Alright, let's go over there then. What do you find, Mom?
You want to listen to this?
No, I'm good. That looks awful. You just listen to static?
I'm supposed to pick out words.
I don't understand what I'm supposed to look at either. I mean, like... I don't know. There's Shmeen. There's... Sydney. Steve's about to call a demon out here.
If you're here, tap Matthew on the shoulder.
Bro, that's not cool.
There's a hoe here.
Who's the hoe?
There's a hoe here.
That's what it said.
It's probably. Never mind. Oh my god, that's a Speen walking.
That's scary.
Steak.
Steve, what's the stag for?
It's scrolling through radio stations.
What am I supposed to ask? When did Eliza die?
Alright, so just so you know, your name showed up already. So, yeah. Not
Bro,
came
that's
up
not
at a Nikki spirit box.
My name?
Yeah, full name, Matthew.
That's bullshit. That's not cool.
Wait, what is
My
did you
name
get his
showed
last
up.
name?
Mistake. What's that?
Did you get his last name?
No.
No, because Steve said tap me on the shoulder.
Was one of the kids
That's not cool. My name showed up.
Alicia? Said Alicia.
It's my full name, you said. Because you said tap me on the shoulder. That's some bullshit. That
Are you
wasn't
getting
cool.
anything out of yours?
Nothing.
That is not
You have
cool.
it unmuted?
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
I mean, I'm getting radio. I'm getting
There's
a lot of
hole
radio.
here. Oh.
Like,
Definitely
like for
sure.
the
Like,
ground?
no, like
No, as in
Like for the
there's a
squad.
hoe in the
loose
amongst us.
character.
Okay.
Yeah. Interesting. But it is interesting that we have two of your guys' names.
Is that how she died? I don't know.
No. It's definitely not how she died. So we have Alicia and
Maybe
Matthew.
she was one and like,
I know.
caught disease.
No, definitely not. It's almost disrespectful at this point, based on who she was. So, any other color showing up on yours?
Not really.
Nothing yet? Okay.
What am I supposed to be looking for? So I see
Anything-
all these cold spots, right?
Right. Are they moving?
I mean, they're kind of just bouncing around.
But are they moving and taking shape into people?
No.
Okay.
So just look for. Oh, so you're actually gonna see a person.
More than likely.
Okay, cool. So I'm not just like. All right, that makes
Yeah.
more sense.
Like they will take shape into a person.
Do you
Like
have
that.
any?
Go ahead.
Do you have any like where there's a building in this parking lot, right?
Mm-hmm.
So do you know where stuff might be, where I might be able to search? Where
Well,
it's a good
we
place.
like the whole. I've had activity pretty much the
Specific
whole
rooms
space. Specific rooms.
that might have.
I will tell you, like up in that corner, like up in that, like literally the corner of the walls is a big hot spot. So for those of you with
Let's go
EMF
see.
detectors,
Alright.
spirit boxes, like that's usually a
Come
good
on,
spot.
Matthew. Let's go over there. 9925. Oh wait, I'm getting something. You see anything cold?
What did he say? Where the two walls come together?
So let's go this way. That wasn't cool calling out my name. Like, that's so out of pocket.
Oh wait.
You're about to bring some
Right
demons or
around
shit.
here.
Take a picture where you get spots. I couldn't.
Bro, it said something.
Hazel, did you get one?
What did it say?
That was a squeeze. Eliza, what's your maiden name?
What am I supposed to ask?
Ma's not having this toy.
There's a hoe here. That's what it said.
Meet George Washington. Oh,
Mom.
oh yeah, I just
Mom.
got a spike.
Alright. Listen, you don't take a picture of the meter, take a picture of the spot. Okay?
What did you get on?
So,
He has
what is
Hazel.
it?
Hazel.
I got a spike
Well, what were you guys just talking about?
right around here.
We were just what we were talking.
You said something about George Washington.
He said, did you meet George Washington?
That's actually.
Probably did.
Very
I mean,
interesting. You're
shit.
gonna find out why.
Uh-oh, Sydney found something.
I think Nolan
Oh,
did
it's
too.
right around here. No one found something.
Who's Hazel?
Alright, who's Hazel? Eliza, did you have a daughter named Hazel? There's a big spike right here. Right here. There's something right here.
Eliza. Is this you?
Maybe try talking to George Washington. on hay.
I did. I tripped on it too.
Oh my God, ghost.
Sitting.
What about
Oh, Ma, watch your big head. I'm about to.
Did they say focus?
You can actually hear specific things. I can't. Eleanor. Who's Eleanor?
Yo, are we picking up anything? Does Cindy's breath stink?
What's that?
No, I'm just talking about little brother. Trying to.
Can you not?
What you got?
Nothing yet.
Got something?
Now I don't even know what I'm looking for, to be honest.
It is raining.
Come over here in the corner. I got a spike.
I'm waiting for a buy to show up and make me drop this phone.
Right? Nothing now. It jumped like.
Uh-oh, I got a name.
Still pretty vague. Pretty vague stuff.
How you doing, Mom?
Something going on.
Over here.
Uh-oh, might get some.
Just the next screen, yeah. It was just yellow. Can you show us blue?
Right here.
What do you got going on with yours?
It was black and product.
What was the other ones?
It was
It was
blue?
black and product.
You guys get anything?
Look, it just flashed blue twice. That was the second
Reset
time.
it? Reset it?
It flashed. There it is,
There it
blue.
is again.
I did.
All right, Eliza, give us purple now.
I think I got it on this camera flashing blue twice.
There's 10.
You have a 10?
Purple.
I saw 10, yeah.
She had 10 on there. 10.0.
Okay. Eliza, show us purple.
Yo!
Come on, Eliza, show us purple.
Purple, please. Eliza, can we see purple? How about blue then? Yeah. Blue was really cool.
Did you get anything?
No. Oh, wait, hold on.
Do you see anything on that?
You okay?
You should do it over there where Sydney
Oh.
gets his signal.
Oh, that's your drink. No wonder why that's so cold. I was like, that's so cold.
We got a lot of other spaces to hit, and she's not responding directly, so let's go back to where we were.
I keep picking up something specifically right here.
Cindy.
Check here. Right here where Sydney picks up something. Look, it's right in this spot. Right around here.
Mom, I'm not gonna lie, I don't see shit.
It's in this area. Alright.
Mom, is mine?
This is
Is my
alright.
audio being recorded? Or is your audio being
I
recorded?
don't know. But that speaker box? Oh my god. That was freaking weird.
Mom, I wish I wore regular shorts because this shit sucks. Getting like chafing almost.
Kind of relax over here.
We got bars
You're killing me.
Make it go to
This is
blue.
called-
Whoever's back here, we're going to leave that on for just a few minutes. Try to keep it still. Matthew, you can go ahead and stop your camera and kind of relax for a little bit.
Am I supposed to be listening?
Yeah.
Oh.
Am I listening for names? I don't know.
Sounds like there's a lot less like junk, and it sounds like a male voice.
Anything you can make out?
Just low. Nothing I can make out yet.
Okay. Well, we're definitely going to mute you in here because we're next to a hotel room.
Okay.
So that's why. Marissa, you got anything on yours?
While we were on our regular wait, but I don't.
Okay. Anybody else?
I
Hannah?
think an olfactory experience.
Olfactory experience? Oh, the smell. Yeah, I'm sorry. Like normally those things are way further down. Did you hear anything on your spirit box?
No.
Okay. And we don't spend a lot of time here, so no worries. Let's see. Any letters show up?
TV.
TV. Got nothing. Anything? History. Okay, so. Did I miss any spirit boxes? No. I think we're good. Sorry, we have a lot to do tonight. So, welcome to Lodge Alley, everybody. I like to come down here just because it kind of gives you the layout of the land and normally doesn't smell as bad, so I'm sorry for that. Again, we're not going to be here a whole lot of time. But when we were crossing down East Bay Street and we hit that last crosswalk, that's where the original Charlestown walls used to be. Charleston used to be called Charlestown. It was a walled city. You're standing on one of the first streets we ever had. So, here's the interesting part. I have the full list of residents of every person that's ever lived down here. It's not a very lengthy list, don't be too impressed, but you guys normally tell me the same two names every 6 to 7 weeks. Those two names are Benjamin and John.
Shit.
Yeah, you get a lot of actors.
I thought that was a ghost. I was
think
shit.
I thought it was
Yeah, he's telling some bootleg story. Again, that's not what you got. But at any rate, so Benjamin and John. Who the heck are these guys? When I say people live down here, I'm only talking like 2 to 5 people down here at a time. So again, it's not a lengthy list. Ben and John are 2 people that lived down here in 1801. There was 4 different Johns that lived down here in a 60-year time span. John likes to give us his last name so we know it's him. His last name was Johnson. John Johnson was his name. I'm pretty sure his mother was evil, so I would not name my kid John Johnson. We will get all 3 of those names at times during that 6 to 7 week loop. Unfortunately for you guys, we're in week 1 of that loop. I wasn't truly expecting Benjamin or John, but I never know. Go ahead and turn off the REM pod portion of it.
Sorry.
It's okay. We're actually going to use the number portion of it.
Turn it back on for a minute, but
Here's why I keep getting the same names over and over again, is because we're dealing with the stone tape theory in this location. Here's what's going on. You're standing on Belgian blocks. These things are made of granite, and they've been here since at least 1739. Nobody actually knows for sure, so it's a rough estimate. A few hundred years, we'll call it that. Granite is not supposed to give us any kind of electrical charge whatsoever. So I'm going to have Denise place her device on any dry brick, and hopefully she's going to get a number. So go ahead and place your device literally on the ground, and let us know if you get any numbers.
just now.
It's probably coming from the building behind you.
5.7.
I'm going to take that. So normally, I would expect up to 1.1. There are some nights we don't get anything. There are other nights it goes all the way up to 15. Did it change from 5.7?
5.4.
Okay, so we got 5.7 and 5.4. That's good enough for me. So basically, in a nutshell, what's going on is that these granite bricks, because they've been here for so long, are said to hang on to the consciousness of the memories of the things that occurred here. I have no idea what the hell's coming down here with the crazy pirate. Normally we come down here because no other tours are here, but I think we got started.
I think
late,
they
so
got caught on to you.
they may have. So we're going to actually let them pass through here. So you can come on through if you need to.
Hi, y'all. Do you mind with your voice levels for passengers?
Pardon us.
Allie!
Are you okay?
No, I'm fine.
Okay.
Abby, you good?
Yes, I'm fine. I'm having a moment laughing at
Okay.
We're good. It's called karma for being an annoying ass.
Oh, you're kind. I hope you guys aren't waiting for me. Yep. So are you walking?
No, we're hanging out waiting for you to come.
No, I know.
Okay.
this supposed to mean anything because it's out of frame?
Because it's steady, I would call that a rhythm. So rhythms are normally from something man-made, which means you're standing next to the hotel room. Somebody probably has something plugged into the wall.
So I have a question.
Yes.
The spirits that are here, do they have like a really sense of humor?
What do you got?
Because as they're going by, I heard the. I hope you know these people. I hope you know those people. As they were like walking past.
So that's why you don't do a bar crawl when you're going through our cobblestone streets, everybody.
Yes. Because you will wind up
Wow.
face first in the floor.
Or
in a
another
garbage
can.
can.
I was waiting for her to like flop over like a cartoon. Like, so
I really thought she was going to touch it.
before people lived here, the Freemasons had a Masonic lodge here, which is where the alley gets its name, Lodge Alley. We will get terms relative to the Freemasons. That includes Mason, Brick, and the word Illuminati loves to show up on those red spirit boxes. My question to you is, who the hell's saying the word Illuminati on the radio? And second, why are we only getting it in this space before the people that are hearing it know that there were Freemasons here? So again, 6 times last year alone, 3 times so far this year. And it's all been verified. So again, Illuminati is a weird term. I'm not going into conspiracy theories with everybody because again, we're ghost hunting. But here's what's going to happen from here. We're not going to, like I said, we're not going to spend a lot of time here. We're actually here longer because of our happy friends that just passed through. We're going to go through go to another alley. However, I can't take you all the way through it. Why? I've been kicked out. So again, you guys have the noisemakers and the blinky lights, and it is considered residential at the end. So we're going to go stir some stuff up outside the alley. And we're going to see what's going to happen. And our last stop is relatively close to it, so we will get bleed over from it from time to time. Just based, like we actually had the name Jonathan show up, by the way, when we were at the Pinckney Mansion site. We were next to Big John's, only a block away. That's a bleed over space. We're going to another bleed over space. Like once we exit here, we're probably going to be too far away to get any other clues from this location. So let's cut through this next group. And again, videos, if you're recording, you're going to stop your videos as we exit the alley or before we hit that tour. Actually, we'll just stop them now. How about we just do that so that we're not interrupting the other tours. Go ahead and stop recording.
I was turning mine off too.
60, because we're going to see other tours go down there, which is why we don't go down there. Not to mention, this is the alley I've been booted out of, and yes, I will tell you how that happened. So, very discreetly, go ahead and film the alley if you'd like. But this is Philadelphia Alley. If you're not familiar with this location, it's a staple for Charleston. But we're going to talk about this story a lot differently because you're ghost hunting. It's not a normal campfire style ghost story. By the way, did you guys hear anything or see anything along the way here? Nothing on your spirit box? Heard Washington again. All right, so Philadelphia Alley used to be called Dueler's Alley. This is where some of the duels used to occur for the city of Charleston. We all talk about a specific duel because we can actually prove that it occurred. That duel consisted of a doctor that moved down here from Rhode Island. His name was Dr. Joseph Brown Ladd. He moves down here because his fiancée, Amanda, just inherited a bunch of money. And she has an attorney that is handling this money for her. Now, the inherited money came from her dead parents, so they're dead and gone. The attorney thinks that Dr. Ladd is just after Amanda's money, so he tells Amanda, get rid of this doctor. Dr. Ladd moves to Charleston to prove that he's not after Amanda's money. And as he's coming into town, a coachman set him up to be robbed and killed. So it wasn't a good start to his stay in Charleston. Somebody was walking by and seeing what was about to happen. That guy's name was Ralph Isaacs. We're going to stop on Ralph for a second because Ralph has the same initials as where the doctor came from. You're ghost hunting. Initials mean something. RI shows up here all the time, even before we've gotten the digital Ouija board. So, it used to show up on other spirit boxes. But that's 2 different characters, so we always need to know the secondary clues so we know who it belongs to. Ralph tells the doctor, dude, you don't want to stay here. I know this guy. He's going to try to kill you. There's a gunman inside. I got some friends at 59 Church Street. You can stay there, and you'll be good to go. You'll be safe. Dr. Ladd takes him up on the offer, and the 2 become friends. The longer Dr. Ladd stays here, the more money he starts to make for himself. He's proving his point that he's not after Amanda's money. So, Amanda's moving down soon, and Dr. Ladd becomes known as the Whistling Doctor. I will tell you that every haunted city you're ever going to visit has a cliche whistling ghost. It is a staple in every haunted city. There is proof of this one. I'll explain later. But him and Ralph go see plays together. They can't sit next to each other because Dr. Ladd makes more money. He gets better seats than Ralph does. So they have to talk about these plays on the way home. On the way home from seeing Richard III, they start arguing over the new actress that was in town. Dr. Ladd thought she was fantastic. Ralph, not so much. It gets a little heated when Ralph starts insulting the doctor's fiancée back home in Rhode Island. Obviously gets very ugly and they go their separate ways. Ralph is from here. He has friends at the newspaper. He puts an ad in the paper telling the whole city of Charleston what he thinks of the doctor. It's kind of a disgrace to society kind of mentality. Dr. Ladd sees this newspaper ad and rebuttals with, let's go to Jeweler's Alley. We're going to settle this. As they come down here, they take their 10 paces. They turn. Dr. Ladd points his gun in the air and he's shot. He did not want to kill his friend. He just needed the courage and bravery to show up to the fight. However, Ralph has his one shot and he puts it in the kneecap on the doctor. Dr. Ladd drops to the ground, and his friends pick him up and carry him home to 59 Church Street. He dies 10 days later after refusing medical treatment. You have to remember this guy's a doctor. He probably tried to bleed this out himself. So, the campfire part of this is that as you walk through the alley, you could hear the whistles from the doctor. This was a point in my tours where I would say we're going to be using my voice recorder, spirit boxes down, because we weren't always using the earbuds. I do have a couple that I can't debunk, but I do. If you're going to try this on your own with your phone voice recorders, are you okay? Like you're like sweating profusely. Are you all right? Okay. Just want to make sure before you pass out on us.
Yeah, I have pods. It's just a thing. It's fine.
Okay. The voice recorder piece. Every local knows this story. So if you're going to walk up and down Cumberland or Queen Street, every local knows the story. They're going to throw a whistle every single time. I do it every single night on my way home. We're going to end up there by that street light. My garage is right there. I pass the alley every single night. So I throw a whistle down the alley just for shits and giggles because that's what I do. So, especially since I've been booted out. Let's get into that.
Are you not scared of like paranormal activity at all?
No. Never have been, never will be. Here's how I got booted out of there. This alley didn't always come all the way through. It was closed off on this side. So that means the bricks on the other side are older. Those bricks are sun-dried bricks from slave children. There's one full handprint and there's fingerprint swipes in those bricks at the end near Queen Street. I would always point out to my groups what those bricks are because we all need to see it. It's part of our history and it shows how far we've come. However, everybody wants to put a spirit box or an EMF detector or something near it trying to get a reading. I treat that brick the exact same way I do a grave. That kid is not staring at that brick in the afterlife. Like, there's just no way. So, here's how it went down. November 26th of 2020, my entire group decided they're going to huddle around that brick and try to get a reading and try to hear something from the spirit box. It's outside of the dining room window of the beautiful mansion at the end of the alley. It is considered residential. The gentleman that just bought that mansion came out screaming where we were out of bounds. So, again, I played the new guy card and we moved on. The next day was Thanksgiving. I did not have a tour that day, so the next day after that, I got a phone call from the tourism office asking me to go down halfway, which is what we're allowed to do, or to reroute my group. Again, not fair to my group of 10 to work around 20 to 60. We went up the street. I told my group that night, I don't believe in this story. I'm not a pirates person. I'm a vampire guy. I'll tell you what I know, and we'll kind of wing it and see what happens with your devices. Before we left, somebody hears the name Anne on a spirit box. I did not tell them we were going to be investigating the female pirate Anne Bonny, who started her pirate career right here in Charleston. We get up there and I told that little bit I did know about pirates and Anne Bonny, and somebody else hears the number 300. I don't know what that means until I do the research the next day. We were there on November 28th of 2020. Anne Bonny's trial for piracy was November 28th of 1720. We were there on the exact 300-year anniversary of her pirate trial. We had other things pop up that night, but none were more relevant than Anne and 300. I keep taking you guys up there, hoping that we're going to find more evidence. Here's the thing about that space. It is a hit or miss. We're not going to probably see or hear as much that we normally do at Pinckney Mansion. It's either a lot, a ton, or it's absolutely nothing. So again, it's a hit or miss, and I hate to end a tour that way, but at the same token, again, I'm a vampire guy. I've read more books on pirates than I've ever cared to in my entire lifetime to try to put together a factual tour based on pirate lore. Again, very difficult to do. So anything, you're going to learn a hell of a lot about pirates that you never even thought possible before. So we're going to go up and talk about Anne Bonny. We're going to see a lot of other larger groups coming by and passing through us, but we're going to stay away from them until we actually start our investigation, and we'll spread out. So again, all things will be in play at that point, including lasers, the REM pod, so all of it will be back in play again. So let's go talk about pirates. Do we have anything that was heard or seen before we leave the space?
You said famous.
Famous swing.
We have famous. We'll take famous.
Right after we got swing.
Swing?
We got innovation.
Innovation?
Innovation.
I know you were listening pretty intently.
Invitation.
You keep saying something over there.
Invitation.
Invitation?
As you were talking about Anne Bonny, it said famous.
She's like the most famous female pirate ever. So let's go talk about how crazy this young lady was. Again, you guys should see me during Women's History Month. Like, I'm a star because we talk about Pinckney. Yeah, it's all about the ladies.
Is this alley famous for the jewels?
Yeah.
You wanna go, man? Come on, son. Yeah, I am with Sydney. His breath stinks.
Bro, oh
His
my
farts
god.
smell.
Bro,
They're all on the heat detector.
if this is recording, I'm gonna be so mad.
Oh my god, toot. Oh, he tooted.
I did not.
It smells like shit.
No, I did not.
See, it is 101-degree toot.
Stop!
Oh my goodness. It reeks.
Bro.
Sancticism.
Can you not?
Butthole.
Are you done?
Butthole. Are you done? Are you done?
Bro!
Are you done?
He's mocking me.
How old are you? You sound just like my son.
Oh, thank you. I forgot. We've been getting it all day. You never hear them.
Oh wait, are we around the corner from our hotel?
Yeah. He said it ends near.
Yeah, see, look, that's the church. It's up this is Church Street.
Oh, isn't this the magazine? Oh, shoot.
You know what? It just occurred to me. I didn't realize we were this close to it. Now I'm oriented a little better. Hey guys, watch out. There's a rando car here. Near a porta potty.
Imagine they're about to smash. That'd be awkward.
This is weird.
I remember back in my heyday.
Yes.
Uh-oh.
Alright, so, seen, heard anything going on with your devices before we kind of get into where we're at? Wow, silence is compliance with you guys, huh? Alright, so, welcome. And there's a lot that goes on this corner. That's why a lot of you see the other ghost tours all over the place. So first off, there are two. I like to talk about why every ghost tour stops at that cemetery across the street, just because it is their normal ending staple of it's their show and tell, and I let them have it. So, what do you got?
7.
Wow. So, let's start with that. Two different sides to the cemetery. If you're from Charleston, you can get buried across the street. If you are not from Charleston, you get buried over here on this side. Your 7th Vice President, John Calhoun, is buried on the other side of this wall. Literally, on this other side. He actually got shuffled back and forth several times until they tried to figure out where he was supposed to go. They didn't know if he was from here or not. So he's not from here, so they put him on this side. And this side is normally open during the daytime for you guys to walk. It is a sarcophagus, so it's very easy to move him back and forth. He wasn't like exhumed or anything. The other reason why the number 7 will show up here quite often, we normally get it in doubles. It'll say 7, and then somebody else hears the number 7, is because Dr. Ladd's birthday that we just discussed, his birthday is July 7th, so 7-7. But he has the very specific word 7th with the TH at the end. So I'm going to take that as relative to John Calhoun. Something else relative to Calhoun is probably going on. We're just missing it right now.
Is that different?
But the reason why all those other ghost tours are across the street is because there's a sign right inside that gate that says, "There's no ghost here but the Holy Ghost." And there's a reason for that. So in 1888, a young lady died by the name of Sue Howard Hardy. Now, this is very cheesy, very campy. I hate even bringing it up, but it happens all the time. We talked about initials with Ralph Isaacs. Sue Howard Hardy, SHH. Shh. It's cheesy. We hear it and see it all the time. So, Sue's initials will show up for us from time to time, but she dies 6 days after her stillborn child. Very sad story, but in 1987, local photographer's taking pictures. He captures a full apparition in one of his photographs. Can't debunk it, so he sends it to Kodak. I don't think I need to explain what Kodak is to this group. That's kind of nice. But Kodak doesn't know what to do with this picture either. So for guys like me, this thing is gold, but the picture is cursed. It's cursed to females. So anybody handling it female-wise, even in a digital format like a tablet or phone, is said to have the same symptoms we talked about at the beginning. The headache, the nausea, the dizziness. Pregnant females are probably not going to have a good pregnancy based on the gist of the stillborn child. Yes, sir.
Why is it just females?
Because she was a woman that...
Oh.
Does anybody else feel the air really cold right now? No, I mean,
Well,
I feel
he's
cold
got the
like
camera.
coming up behind me.
No, we shouldn't.
I mean, I'm hot, but I feel cold
cold air.
coming up behind me.
So, are you filming right now?
Yeah.
Perfect. So he's filming. We'll be able to see if there's any cold anomalies coming up behind you.
I mean, yeah, the cold stuff is behind you, but I don't know if that's just cold. Or
I can
like,
just feel cold air.
There's no ghost behind you, I can tell you that.
Thank you.
So I am going to show all of you the photographs that they're all going to show over there and zoom in on the apparition. However, I'm going to ask that nobody touch the damn tablet, just because I'm not going to be the guy if somebody had a great vacation and 9 months later I cursed your family. So again, I do take this very seriously.
Okay.
Again, but
Don't
again,
touch it, bitch. Hold up. I'm going to go over here because
We waited 35 years for this. Back up.
we're going to go this way
no.
then. So,
I
there's
saw
your
this
full
one.
picture that he took. There's your apparition. 2 shoulders, top of head, and then the baby basket's next to her. This is Sue's grave, and this is probably another instance where the baby's buried with mom. Because I went through the church records trying to find where the baby's buried, and there's no records.
I saw the, that's the baby, right?
No, this is the mom.
This is the back of the mom.
She's
Like she's bent down.
What are the symptoms again?
headache, nausea, dizziness.
No,
So-
I was thinking like really stressed
Full photograph
for
right
no
here.
reason.
Apparition is right here. 2 shoulders, top, head.
What does that mean?
This is Sue's grave.
Headache, nausea, dizziness.
Speen, so you're gonna be buried with mom?
Yeah, another instance where a baby's probably buried with mom because I cannot find any records.
See, there's a ghost because you said the F word.
We're gonna be buried
Also
next
diving
to,
into where her and her husband lived. Those senses were
Bean.
used,
we're gonna be buried next to them.
Oh my goodness, Bean. It is the ghost of Speen behind you.
Crazy.
I heard short period of time and baby.
Wait, is the phone hot? I
Trying
wanna
to find the
see.
census
Scan the
records,
phone.
it's
What?
destroyed in a fire.
I
So
heard
can't
short
even find
period
their
of
true
time.
address.
Did you hear
That was
that?
actually
What's that
all
supposed
one
to
up
be?
everybody.
No, like
Kinda
I
took
heard
my
it
time. Did you
short
wanna
period of
see
time
again?
and then later.
I backed away because
What's that supposed to mean?
She's like, let me
In the event
He-
something
she-
pops up in your evidence, where I have to give you a link to this, and it's of the photograph, it will say warning cursed photo. What's up?
You heard short period of time and baby.
Yeah, we're definitely writing that one down.
What was that to the...
About to hold that
Shoulders, head,
out of pocket.
baby basket.
Okay.
Serious,
so
that's what I heard.
Looking at her
I know, but you wasn't about to tell
Okay.
him.
Yes. I
Short
don't know
period
what
of
that-
time
I don't know
and
what that
baby.
means.
So, again, at this point, I'm going to have to give you a link of some sort. If the photograph is in that link, I will put warning curse photo, so nobody clicks it open by accident.
Okay.
So, here's why we're here.
I have a question real quick, I'm
Yes.
sorry. Has anyone actually ever like experienced like a bad pregnancy after viewing like the photo and stuff? Like, is there like evidence of that happening, or is that just like a...
I will tell you from this location specifically, we get a lot of my group, and we're also at the end of the tour on a hot night. People will start to experience headaches, a little bit of chest pain, those kind of things. It's not always a female, so it might not be from the photograph.
Yeah. Okay.
The building over there
Why
in
are
the
you
corner with the
scanning
crosses on it.
Because you got an attitude.
Those are not crosses, by the way.
I can sense
What was
it.
that again? From
No.
a short period of time and
And
baby.
Short
baby.
period of time and baby.
Those are earthquake bolts. Earthquake bolts, if you're unfamiliar with them, are basically turnbuckles. So in the event we have another earthquake, like what we did in 1886, which we have not had anything of that magnitude, you can turn those turnbuckles and it's supposed to straighten the building back up again. So again, it's a great idea, it just doesn't work. The
Oh.
only reason I bring these up is because those are the first set of earthquake bolts that Charleston put in, because that's the oldest government building in South Carolina, which is why we're here. This building would be a familiar to Anne Bonny when she came to Charlestown. So again, this is like using a toy to attract a child ghost. It's the same type of principle. So and Anne Bonny is said to be seen all over town. That's why sometimes this place is a hit or miss. So let's get right into the story. This building took 10 years to build. Does that sound like our government? Small building, 10 years? No, not at all. But in the middle of its construction, 1708, a young lady by the name of Anne Cormack moves here from Ireland. She's with her father and his mistress. The mistress is Anne's mother. Is everybody with me so far?
Yes.
There's a lot of twists in this. So the three of them are running away from his wife. Yeah, how angry was she that she got to get the hell out of Ireland to come here? Just pointing that out. But they land in Georgetown. Dad bought a plantation, and Mom died pretty quickly after that. So that means he has to send young Anne down here to be able to sell anything from the plantation to keep things afloat. So Anne back home in Ireland, kind of a badass chick. She actually, they say, she killed one of her servants when she was only 10 or 12 years old with a knife to the belly. Like, this chick's pretty hardcore. We're going to fast forward. Building's done in 1713. Pirates are coming through town in 1715. Anne's going to fall in love pretty quickly because she wants her freedom, just like a man. Guy number one. Yes, we're going to keep tally. There's a hand. James Bonny. You already see where this one's going, right? Dad doesn't approve because he's a filthy pirate, so they run away to Jamaica. They get married. And Cormac is now Anne Bonny, the famous female pirate that we mentioned earlier. So this guy is not Captain Jack Sparrow that she was hoping for. This guy turns out to be a privateer. He's a spy for the British. He's a coward. This is not who she wants. A few years later, she falls in love again. This guy's name is John Rackham, aka Calico Jack. This is literally the person that they based your Disney Captain Jack Sparrow character off of, Calico Jack. So, Jack has his own ship and wants to be part of it. You can't put a girl on a pirate crew. Does anybody know why?
No.
They're bad luck. So, it's like the old adage. Like, that was an old thing. I thought everybody knew that. So anyway, I usually get somebody to answer.
Distraction or something.
Yeah, most people would think rape or something like that. But it was just bad luck. But anyway, he makes a deal with her. If you dress like the pirate crew, you can be part of the crew. She's okay with this because Dad used to cross-dress her as a boy back home in Ireland to keep her away from his wife. So she's like, whatever, I'm a pirate, let's go. So, but she has to be a female in his quarters. That's how the deal worked out. Let's put two and two together. Most of us are adults here, so with that said, being a female in his quarters, she's eventually going to get pregnant. You cannot have a pregnant pirate dude on the crew. Somebody's going to figure out that she's a female. So, he drops her off in Cuba. Go have the baby over here. These are friends of mine. They'll help you. Come back later. We'll figure it out. She goes and has the baby, but returns with no baby. We have no idea what happened to this child. But she's also dressed like a girl. This makes Jack pretty angry. And while she was away giving birth to his child, he captured another pirate crew. They're down below deck. Anne is going to go flirting with that pirate crew because she wants to make Jack even more mad. Guy number 3.
What's that look for?
Guy number 3 turns out to be a female, dressed like a guy to be part of the pirate crew that Calico Jack just captured. Now we have 2 females, dressed as males, trying to be pirates on the same ship. This young lady's name is Mary Reed. She went by Mark Reed to become a pirate. Anne and Mary become friends, possibly lovers, we're never going to know for sure, and the British find out where they are. They send a fleet of ships to come take down their one pirate ship. Anne and Mary are the only 2 pirates not drunk enough to come up and fight with their 1-bullet flintlocks because they probably don't know how to use the cannons yet, haven't been pirates for very long, but they're going to get arrested. As the British are arresting them, Anne looks at her captain, Calico Jack, and says, "You should have fought like a man instead of being hanged like a dog." So the word dog will show up here on your spirit boxes quite often. Anyway, the judge, his name is Nick as well. If you guys hear my name, it's usually relative to him. He wants to see the 2 men that fought back so valiantly on their own after he's tried and hung Calico Jack and the drunken pirates that wouldn't fight. So, Anne and Mary go in front, reveal their gender. He doesn't care that they're female. He's still going to hang them because they're still pirates. "We plead our bellies," was the last thing they said, because you cannot hang a pregnant woman in 1720. It's illegal. Sends them both back to jail and delays the hanging until after the pregnancies are over. Dad is still here in the Charleston area with all of his Irish money. He bails out Anne. She comes back home. She remarries. That's husband number 2, but guy number 4, because we're going to count Mary Reed. She has 4 kids and dies at the age of 84. Yes, that's all we know after her pirate career. As far as Mary Reed goes, she died a year later, 1721, in that Jamaican jail from whatever pirates die from in a Jamaican jail. Use your imagination. Most articles will tell you it was fever, but I'm sure it was scurvous and bumpy and gross. We are going to spread out in this location. That is, we're going to be investigating the powder magazine. Most of us will probably stay along this side of the lot, on this side of the brick wall, but for those of you that want to check out the front of the powder magazine, get some footage, try your spirit boxes up there, just don't interrupt the other tours. So, before we leave this and we spread out, there's a reason why I give you guys that heated warning, and it's kind of a good thing that you brought out, you know, what actually comes up out of that picture. Back in September of last year, I brought my group back here, just like I normally do. The kid next to me goes white as a ghost. He's about to drop. So I have to pick him up by his armpit before he hits his head on the pavement. His boyfriend picks him up on the other side, and we carry him over to that wall because there's somewhere for him to sit. We get him some water, feeling better. I then tell him the story that I just told you. It's important so they don't know it yet. I get everybody spread out with their devices, and them 2 pull me aside and say, "Nick, we have to tell you, we are 2 transgender males." Meaning I had 2 females dressed as males, just like Anne and Mary, on the tour. So, again, these are the uncanny things that I can't explain, but they do happen. Psychics and mediums normally don't make it pretty far in this, like they normally are out by the Pinckney Mansion site. So, to answer your question, yes, I have seen people pass out, and it was a much, much cooler night back in September than we are dealing with right now. So again, nobody was overdressed. There was no explanation for it other than who the 2 of them were. So, take it for what it's worth. This is our last stop. Let's make it out with a big hurrah. Denise, with your device, you're not going to find any numbers. You'll probably find colors if you ask Anne Bonny what color her hair was. She loves to give us that answer on that device. So with yours, the colors, we're going to get a little bit, but the closer you guys get to the bushes, you're probably going to get numbers and colors on yours. Don't get too excited. It's the parking meters. So it's more about like what you're going to find back here. But you also have that other digital camera. Make sure you get it turned on. If you want to go to the front with somebody else in the family, by all means, go take some pictures of the front because everybody's going to get those photographs. I do want to see your word list, Mr. Nolan, so let me see what's going on over there. But yeah, the rest of us, let's start spreading out. Let's have some fun.
Matthew, come on.
I was saying, even women back then wanted to make their boyfriends jealous.
Well, duh, that's in their genes. What? You think it changes? No. Come on. I love you, Ma. How you enjoying the show?
Are you?
It's alright. It's cool. I mean, it kind of sucks I can't find any bodies.
Dude! Are you looking for trouble?
I'm looking for safety.
I want to fall asleep tonight, so like, what's the picture of this wall?
There's gotta be something at this wall. Following Cincy out here. His big head.
What do you mean?
I mean, you got a big head.
You got a bigger head than me.
Dang.
Dang.
I'm gonna catch this on camera. Nick.
Wow.
There's gotta be something back here, right, Cindy?
Oh my god, bro. You sit next to me so I know that you're not.
You find anything?
Nope.
No.
Dad, did you get anything? Did you get anything?
Hang on, spirit boxes, where you at? I normally tell you guys to ask what Ann Bonny's parents' names were in Calico Jack's ship. He's already got Ann Bonny's father's name on there.
I thought I heard Lisa or something like that. Lisa.
It's not the mom's name, just so you know. But he does have William. I'm excited about that. He's already got. It's almost like she reminded me, like, hey, you forgot to give him the damn questions. What's up?
I'm just recording.
Coming to check up. But as far as the earthquake bolts, the gist behind it is that it's supposed to basically squeeze the building back together.
But do you know anything about the mechanics of how they would do that, or are you just? I'm thinking like you said.
Did you hear anything?
That sound like. Imagine 11's out here. Nah, that's weird as hell though. You see what's in that car? Like a little horse?
Is anybody here? There's a little horse in the car?
Yeah.
Oh, that's weird.
Matthew, I got Will.
Play Pirates of the Caribbean theme song if you're here.
Anyone here? Mary Reed. Let's see, where's no one?
Play this song if you're here.
Disease.
Disease. I just said Mary Reed and it says
Sydney, are you done?
I'm tired.
You're tired? I'm tired too.
Well, I mean, your camera is in my face.
Mom, I miss my girlfriend.
Going home soon. Why? Was she texting you?
No, I just miss her.
This is just like Radio Garble. There's nothing of substance.
I'm documenting Steve Michigan.
Scoop.
It's not found
Can I take the
anything.
camera? You want this? There's nothing. I don't hear anything. You want to use mine?
Dude, that is so creepy.
Why? There's nothing comes through. It's all Radio Garble.
Can I see how you use it?
Just walk around.
What am I supposed to do?
And if you hear anything that you can, any words that you can make out.
What do you press to say something?
What are Ann Bonnie's parents?
What do you press to say something? Wait, what do you press to say something?
Oh, here.
It's not a walkie-talkie.
No, you don't speak. Here. It's on.
So now you're just listening to see if anybody's going to talk to you.
Can you ask questions?
You can.
Judicial.
Find out the name of Calico Jack.
Judicial. We got judicial.
Well, Charles Pinckney, the husband, is buried across the street. So that's hard to get.
2 and 2.
Jeez, oh my god, that scared me to death.
You got it.
What?
Just the
right.
noise.
Seems tweaking.
Take it here.
I am tired and I cannot stand that. Scares me to death.
He is scared to death. He's dead. Dan, look at me.
Oh my god.
Yeah, Shawty was definitely trifling. You know, the hostess. Drunk A's. Walking around, trying to find some ghosts. Can't find shit.
Those are 3 words that like clearly came through. Whatever that's worth.
I got respond. We did for girls.
The song "Girls Just Want to Have Fun" shows up here all the time.
We got, what was it, powerful? Yeah, we got powerful and
What'd you get, babe?
there was something else.
Respond.
Here we go. Back to Steve in Michigan. Steve, did we find anything?
I did get something.
What'd you get?
It was like, it said dead.
Dead?
Yeah. It was a voice that said dead and it didn't fit into the radio.
Because Cindy said he was dead.
I did get something.
Wait, where'd the rest of the squad go?
Dead. You got dead?
Yeah.
Where'd the rest of the team go?
How do you not get scared by that?
They walked in front of the
Oh, nah. That's way too far
I
from
bet
the
that's
group.
the fucking garage. I wonder if they well, I hope not to have them.
No, they didn't look. I said they went to the front.
What's like the most scary, like messed up thing you've seen?
Normally, when somebody is influenced by some, like the activity, like I mentioned, the kid that almost passed out. But I've had my wife been influenced in the past. That's why there's certain places like I won't take to general public. Like everybody wants to go back to.
But have you gone to like places where you're like, this is definitely messed up?
No, No. Not
Like-
where I'm like, oh my god, I gotta leave.
Yeah.
Like Insidious, Conjuring, those are all like BS.
Not necessarily.
Stop playing.
But you have to remember, it's coming from Hollywood. So,
I guess, but that
As a-
devil.
let-
just thinking about that
so
devil.
let
is
me
creepy.
ease your mind. So I'm a writer.
Right.
Okay, that's what I went to school for. I have a master's degree in creative writing.
Uh-huh.
I can take any one of these stories and turn it into The Conjuring and all of those other things because
Right.
of. I mean, think about Eliza Pinkley. I'm taking you to a happy woman that was a major influence on our country.
Uh-huh.
I could turn that into some angry ghost story and make it horrendous. I really could. It's meant for Hollywood, bro. Like,
Yeah.
again, do those things happen? Do people actually levitate and be possessed? Yeah, it can happen. But at the same time, not to the extreme that they're showing you.
No,
on
I don't think like the levitation stuff, but like how strong a spirit can be.
Yeah,
Like,
absolutely.
Trev, what's like the scariest thing you've ever like encountered?
like you ever seen something that's like out of this world? Like,
Yeah.
on the, like you
Like
can't
things
explain
move?
it. Like you can't explain to someone unless they were there.
No, I can explain it because I study this day in and day out.
I guess, yeah.
And Hannah's like, this guy's getting a little dark for what we were actually expecting. But yeah,
'cause that
but I
devil was
actually
scary
had
as
to.
hell.
Once we get
Anything else?
everything, like as far as
Matthew, do you wanna
recordings
read the
off,
words
I'll
on
give you a
this?
quick scenario.
Release.
Are we ready to roll? Let's get everybody wrapped up. Where's the rest of your team? Still in the front?
Trying to.
Let's head over
get
to
in
the wall
trouble.
so we can start picking up. Good news and gag.
Wait, but
You don't speak into it. You just ask a question and
why
hope
was that
something comes
really
through.
loud for
I know, didn't we hear a loud voice that didn't seem to fit? I don't know what it
It
was.
sounded like those angry demons. Oh, it sounded like the angry.
Alright. So, I just stopped your regular audio, so those of you with video cameras, go ahead and stop those.
Stop.